What's going on, boys? We just got back from a swim class at my university where I'm getting a CPR certification, and it taught me an extremely valuable lesson about what life looks like. Because obviously now, I have the six pack, I bodybuild, all of these things. But what I learned today in this swim class ties back to myself a few years ago. Because, when I was growing up, the pool was my worst enemy, for lack of a better word. I would go to the pool every single day with my friends, and I was always that kid who wore a swim shirt. That was just, I always had to wear the swim shirt. That was something that, it was just like a part of me. It was ingrained in me. When I'd go to the pool, I'd put on this like bright blue swim shirt, and my gut would kind of poke out, and my arms had flab on them, and I had no muscle whatsoever. And I'd wear that swim shirt every single time to the pool. And I would see all my friends, not having to wear a swim shirt and having a six pack and having this confidence and, feeling like a normal person at the pool and not having to change the way they were. But my personality completely changed when I'd go to the pool because, if you guys have seen me on here, I'm a very energetic person. I have a lot of passion towards everything that I do, and I speak with a lot of conviction and speak with a lot of authenticity and a lot of just, drive and emotion. And when I'd go to the pool, even though I still had that in my personality, it would all go away, and I would curl up into this shell because, I was embarrassed that I didn't want to have my shirt off. And I would make up these lies to just convince people that it was normal that I wasn't wearing a shirt. So I would say stuff like, I have asthma, so the shirt helps my breathing. I'd say, I'm really scared of the sun, so I don't want to get sunburnt, and that's why I'm not wearing, or that's why I'm wearing a shirt. But in all actuality, it was solely due to my lack of confidence because, deep down, I'd see all these kids with a six-pack, and every winter and every spring and every fall, I would tell myself, I'm going to go, get super jacked this year and come back to the pool, and, nobody's going to recognize me. I'm going to show up and have a six-pack and be jacked, and, all these girls are going to want me, and I'm going to have all of this confidence and feel incredible about myself, but it never happened. Year after year, summer after summer, I would show up to the pool, and I'd wear that same light blue swim shirt. Even though it got tighter, because I didn't want to buy a new swim shirt, even though it got tighter, I'd still wear that same light blue swim shirt every single day when I went to the pool. And I'd go with my friend group, which had 2 guys and 3 girls in it. One of the girls I had a crush on, and I would just wear that swim shirt every single time I'd go, because I didn't want them to see what I looked like without a shirt on. And that went on for so long to the point where it just felt so normal to me. It felt normal to show up at a pool and, not feel confident and go into my shell. I'd get to that pool and I'd almost turn into a different person because of the way that I looked and because of the way I felt about myself. And, when I had a shirt on when I was in public, I'd feel more confident. I'd, express myself more. I'd be better to talk to. I'd be able to hold a conversation better. But I never had that when I was younger growing up. I never had that in the pool because of the way that I looked. And this went on for so long just because, all I was doing was telling myself that I was going to make the change. And deep down in my head, I knew it was possible, but, I felt like there was something missing. I felt like, these kids had to have better genetics than me because we'd eat the same foods when we'd go out, but, I'd still look different than them. I still wouldn't look the way that they did, and that hurt me more than anything. And, I fell into that trap over and over and over again of just, victimizing myself and feeling like I was a victim of those circumstances, feeling like that body that I was held captive in was just encapsulating me, and I couldn't get out of it, and I couldn't escape it. And I remember just thinking to myself every time after the pool how cool it would feel if I could go without a shirt, if I could not have a shirt on and feel super confident and just be my normal self. And eventually I started working out and started going to the gym, and I've since developed this body and became a bodybuilder, but it never dwelled on me how much my life has changed because of that. It never dwelled on me how much I've changed as a human being because of that. Because it felt so normal to be closeted without a shirt on. It felt so normal to have to wear that shirt. And so even when I stopped wearing a shirt at the pool, I still wasn't confident. I just felt like I was going to get made fun of less if I didn't wear a shirt. And so I'd still show up to the pool and kids would poke fun at me or, make fun of my image or say derogatory comments at me. And, that would dig at me, but I'd play it off and just laugh it off and make them think it was funny. And so we would speak about that and just, no, you gonna go to the gym? Yeah, I do go to the gym. And they just wouldn't, they wouldn't understand my perspective is what I'm getting at. They wouldn't understand the way that I felt. And so that's part of the reason I started getting into the gym But as I got into the gym, I didn't realize how much my mindset had shifted until this very day. 5 years after I've been into my fitness journey, after coaching dozens of other guys in their own fitness journey, I finally came to that realization because I was in this swim class today. We were doing CPR certification stuff. And in that class, I was just talking to everyone, socializing, participating in the class, not thinking about my appearance, not thinking about anything, and just feeling like my true authentic self and feeling like there was nothing to be ashamed of and I didn't have to hide from anything. And I didn't understand, that's just became normal to me. It became normal to feel like that. So I didn't even think anything of it because it was so normal to me. The same way that it was completely normal to me to not have confidence and not want to take my shirt off, it became just as normal to take my shirt off and feel confident. And I didn't understand that until today. And now that I look back at it, I just can't help but feel so much gratitude for where I'm at now in life and the choices I've made that have led me to this point because I can finally be my true authentic self. So it's not that it changes your personality, but getting that six-pack allows you to have the same personality you would if you were confident. The same personality that you want to have and that you deserve to have, but you don't because of your confidence. The thing is, getting the six-pack, getting the body, getting the mindset, getting everything you want to achieve physically, it doesn't change your personality. It amplifies you into the man that you're supposed to be. And that's what I didn't understand. But now I realize that the reason I feel this way now is because I took those little steps every single day to become that man, and eventually I became him without even realizing. I became that confident version of myself. I'm able to go to that swim class and have the time of my life and enjoy myself and have a smile on my face the whole time because of the way that I feel about myself and the way that I feel about my body and the way that, I feel that other people view me because I've built a physique that I can have confidence in. And it's kind of a strange feeling looking back on it because it's weird to me that that's normal, but I didn't think that could be normal. I didn't think that could be my life. And, I said earlier, I told myself that I could be that every single day, but, deep down, you probably feel the same way where you don't believe it's possible. You don't believe that you're able to do that because what's been normal for so long? It's been normal to not have that confidence. It's been normal to, not have the body you want. And so you feel so trapped in that situation that even though you might tell yourself you might be able to change, even though you tell yourself, you want to change, you don't truly believe it from the bottom of your heart. So to that person I'm speaking to right now who, hello, thanks for sticking along. What I need you to understand is that all you have to do is take those steps every single day and you'll become that confident version of yourself without even realizing it. And eventually, you're going to look back and one day you're going to realize, wow, I actually became that person. I actually did those things. And, going through that journey and discovering that version of myself where I love myself, because I've already discovered that I, love myself and felt confident, but never in that specific aspect and never in that specific circumstance. But that's part of the main reason why, I started all this in the first place. I started coming on here and speaking. I started working one-to-one with guys and changing dozens of guys' lives. It's just that, every man deserves to feel what that feels like. Every man deserves to feel what the results of discipline and the gym and dieting feels like and feel that satisfaction from knowing that you're that confident, authentic version of yourself that you truly, truly, truly desire to be. And although it's hard, and it took me a lot of trial and error to figure out the specific method that was the best possible way to get there, the same method I use with all my guys now to get them there so quick. It was so much trial and error, and I wish I had somebody to help me along the process, but I realized that if I had somebody help me, I would have never been able to come to these conclusions for myself, and I would have never been able to craft my specific method that I use for everyone, because now, if I hadn't gone through that journey, I wouldn't have been able to help over 50 clients transform their lives, and that really gets me to think because, that this is my career, and this is my passion, and this is what I love to do, and I would have never been able to do that had I not gone through that pain in the first place, had I not gone through that hardship of hating myself with a shirt on every single solitary day. So what I need you to understand is that this is all happening for a reason because, as you go through this, as you develop yourself, you're going to find that new version of yourself and it's going to bring out this unseen version of yourself that you always wanted to be, but you never truly became. You're going to become that person and it's going to take time and it's not going to be easy, but you have to remember that the first step is actually having that self-belief. actually saying to yourself and looking in the mirror and saying, I am willing to change and I am going to show up for myself today because I am deserving of it and I am deserving of that body and that lifestyle that I want to live. And sure enough, if you take those actions paired with the belief every single day, you will do it. And that's what I encourage all my guys to do. That's literally what I was doing here after class, is building out a new dashboard for one of my clients. And it's just so exciting to see somebody else making that journey because I get to watch it in real time as they go and lose 20, 30, 40 pounds of fat, as they build muscle, as they get that body. And it's just the most blessed thing, I could be a part of because I get to be right by somebody's side on that journey. And it's the coolest feeling ever. And I'm thankful for the people that put their trust in me because, this is the greatest job in the world. I can't complain at all. So I really just want you guys to know that, I'm rooting for you, obviously, but the thing is, you didn't need me to tell you that. You already knew that you had the potential in you. You already knew that you were able to become this person. You already knew all of these things, but you just haven't been taking the actions. So in the back of your head, as you're going through your day, your week, your month, your year, whatever, remember that if me, why not you? If me, why not you? Because I went through the same hardships, the same struggles, the same insecurities, the same lack of confidence, and I still ended up on top. So there's no reason, there's no excuse, there's nothing holding you back that wasn't holding me back. So go chase that person and become that best version of yourself because you are deserving of it and that is the life you truly want to live. Guys, I love you. I hope this was helpful. And if you do want to join the team, there's going to be an application link down below. You can click that, or you can feel free to message me on Instagram, which is linked in my bio, and I will answer any questions you have. I always respond. It's always me. It'll never be somebody else. But I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. We got a vlog coming this weekend. Peace.